Fill-In Freeze.
Wow, I'm young again. I don't feel like an old lady. The lines are gone.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't believe it. It looks really good. It gives you a whole new confidence.
It definitely took 10 years off. If I went to a dermatologist here in the city, I would pay $300-400 for this.
I know you're wondering what Derm Exclusive can do for you. Well, you don't have to wonder. You can order it right now and try it for yourself absolutely risk-free. And here's how.
Call now during this special direct-to-consumer offer and you won't pay $120. Today, you can get your own instant results with Fill-In Freeze for only $59. But that's not all. Today, we're taking another $20 off, so now you can get this instant wrinkle-removing miracle for the low price of only $39.95. And as part of our 1 million bottle giveaway, Dr. Orden is including a second $60 bottle of Fill-In Freeze free. That's nearly $120 of Fill-In Freeze for only $39.95. Dr. Orden will even include his Micro-Pure Resurfacing Pads, Intensive Repair Serum, and Collagen Lift Moisturizer, a $200 value, free. Order now and we'll even upgrade your order to Express Delivery. That's a $15 value, free. Plus, you even get to try it risk-free for 30 days with our money-back guarantee. But you must call to order. Call 1-800-730-7432. That's 1-800-730-7432. Order now.
Oh, cool. I can check my credit score on Credit Karma.
Checking your credit score is for chumps. I have great credit.
How do you know?
Duh.
You know those change, right?
Tattoos don't change.
Try Credit Karma. It's free, and you can see what your score is right now. Aren't you a little bit curious?
I just got my free credit score.
Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free.
I've got to update my ink.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we are looking live on San Francisco, where it is hot and it is dry. Today, already in the mid-50s, and you're going to be warming up even further, but the drought, the lack of rain has been a huge story here. In January this year, you had zero inches of rain. February had a whopping 1.47, and so far in March, 0.12. So a little under 1.6 inches of rain for the entire winter, the wet season, which would make it the lowest in the 165 years that rainfall records have been kept.
Yeah, let's talk more about that because California is in the 4th year of a devastating drought. Now, earlier this month, the state's governor signed a $1.1 billion drought relief and flood protection package.
Yeah, now scientists are scrambling to find out how much water the snowpack will yield. NBC News meteorologist Dylan Dreyer went up into the mountains to take a look.
The view is breathtaking, but the sight is worrisome. The snowpack in the Sierra Nevada mountain range is the lowest it's ever been. And that's bad news for residents of California who rely on that melting snow for their water supply.
We are coming into this extremely dry year after 2 previous dry years, and it has a compounding effect.
So why is California in such dire straits? Because the pattern in the jet stream is split and storms are going north and south of California or staying offshore completely. The few storms that did hit this year produced more rain than snow.
Rain is important, but why is the snowpack so much more important?
Because it stores the water and then gradually releases it when it's most needed down below in the lowlands.
The drought also means big trouble for ski areas in the region. The number of skiers is going downhill fast, nearly 3 million in just 3 years.
The best part about spring skiing is that it's warm and there's usually a ton of snow, but not this year. Look at all the dirt on the slopes, and there are hardly any skiers.
Because the amount of water in the snowpack is so important, scientists manually sample the snow throughout the season.
11.
They're also taking to the sky using NASA technology, lasers and a spectrometer to take measurements.
This is spraying out 400,000 pulses of light per second. What we're headed for now is also simply knowing how much water there is in the mountain snowpack. That's something we've never actually known.
All this information providing knowledge of what's on the ground, but it's what the forecast holds for the future that's still up in the air. If we end up getting a couple of good snowstorms, would that fix the problem or at least help alleviate the problem?
Absolutely. We can get back into a normal situation water-wise with one big year.
All right, let's check on the 7-day forecast to see if there's any rain or snow in the offing for California. Unfortunately, as you can see, it remains dry today. Maybe a little bit of light rain near the Olympic Peninsula, but that is it. Most of the west will be dry and really heating up to a good 10, 15 degrees above average in the Phoenix area with temperatures in the mid-90s. Very warm in Denver, too, mid-70s. We have a pocket of light, chilly rain over the Great Lakes area, rain and snow over New England, and maybe some showers working toward the coast of the Carolinas later on. Tomorrow, maybe another pocket of moisture coming in across northern Mississippi into Alabama. We'll also be watching another Clipper system kind of swing across the Ohio Valley. There's your rain, but it's north of California in the Pacific Northwest tomorrow with the onshore flow beginning for Seattle and even around the Portland area. That'll continue through midweek. Midweek will also be beaming our radar right here in the middle of the country over parts of Texas into Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma for the threat of storms. This whole area will be targeted, we think, on Thursday across the Mississippi Valley. Friday, it moves a little bit to the east, the northern extent anyway, pushing into New York and Philadelphia even with some wet conditions on your TGIF. Saturday may be slightly improving, but could mix over and change over to snow in western New York and Pennsylvania. More wet weather in the Pacific Northwest going through the weekend. We'll be right back.
What's this?
A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
What about my mom?
I like these chicken strips.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested?
Okay.
Chicken with a kick. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
You know those neighbors always making weird and... The Weather Channel just gave them their own TV show.
It's gonna be awesome!
Sunday nights.
Come on, wind! I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
This is incredible.
Failure's not an option.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We got a problem, Houston.
Brainstormers, Sunday nights at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 58. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, plentiful sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's the hose that changed hoses forever. The lawn care breakthrough that revolutionized the way we water our gardens and wash our cars. The #1 selling expandable hose in the world. And wait till they see this. We've made it even better. The new Pocket Hose Ultra. The hose that expands and magically retracts back to where it started from. It's equipped with tight seal technology, guaranteed to give you a watertight seal every time. The secret is the super strong material of the amber tip connectors, 3 times stronger than the original. And look at this test compared to a common solid brass connector. At 300 pounds of pressure, the brass gets crushed. But the amber tip connector on the Pocket Hose Ultra stays strong and undamaged. It's as good as new. Say goodbye to leaky hoses that spray more water on you than on the lawn. Pick a Pocket Hose. Pocket Hose Ultra has double-layer construction like a fire hose with a scientifically developed elastomer hose on the inside that expands with water pressure and a new improved outer lining to protect it. And look at this. That's the Solar Stripe Shield. It actually protects the Pocket Hose Ultra from damaging UV rays and extends the life of the hose. This hose is built to last. In fact, it comes with a lifetime guarantee. If it ever leaks, even a drop, you get your money back. And even though it's the best pocket hose ever, the Pocket Hose Ultra won't cost you a penny more than the original. So why would you ever buy one of those other expandable hoses or stick with a heavy old monster hose that tangles and kinks? Pick a Pocket Hose, the new Pocket Hose Ultra. The 25-foot Pocket Hose Ultra is still just $12.99 and comes with the amber elbow that lets you screw on your Pocket Hose Ultra without scraping your knuckles. A $10 value, yours free. Call now and you can get a second Pocket Hose Ultra. Call now.
Call 1-800-880-6534 and get a special offer, second Pocket Hose Ultra and the elbow extension. So call 1-800-880-6534. That's 1-800-880-6534. Call now.
You know your dentures can move. Unlike natural teeth, try Fixodent Plus TrueFeel. The smooth formula helps keep dentures in place. It's free of flavors and colorants for a closer feeling to natural teeth.
You want to sell your luxury home, but first, you've got to pick the right realtor. One who understands advertising, the kind that really gets your property noticed. I'm Vince Marotta, and we pride ourselves on connecting buyers and sellers through ads across a multimedia approach on TV, billboards, newspapers, magazines, the web, and more. My clients often tell me, Vince, I see your ads everywhere.
Now that's the kind of message that gets results. Your journey begins at MarottaRealty.com.
Habitat for Humanity of Palm Beach County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing people together to build safe, decent, affordable housing to serve low-income and hardworking families in our community. You can help Habitat's mission through home sponsorship, monetary donations, volunteering, or by donating sellable household items and building supplies to our restores. You can learn more at habitatpbc.org.
At Wayfair.com.
So let's go! When you go out there, it's dangerous.
As we always do, show you amazing pictures and video of weather. This is Niagara Falls, and you can see parts of the falls still frozen. Yes, it is March 30th, and we still have some of the falls still frozen in the area. Okay, Mark and Mike are in the studio with me now, in the lab actually, and talk more about the chances of maybe some additional snow. I mean, snow on the Lilies Easter Sunday?
Yeah, not out of the question.
Let's just time out. Let's just not do it. Let's just cancel it this year.
Right.
So,
all the brand new Easter like outfits, the little suits and
like
little
the
dresses,
Easter bonnets and all that. It'll be like Easter toboggans this year. And we need a break from winter. I mean, look at this, Mark. Look how much snow we still have on the ground here across the Northeast. Some spots here, especially northern Maine. We're talking 2 feet plus of snow still on the ground. So we'd like to get some warmth in here to melt some of this stuff. Even around Boston, we've got some pretty good snow on the ground. A place like Erie, Pennsylvania, by the way, we've had 105 inches of snow to date. That's above average. And historically, about 97% of the season is over, and we only get about another 3.5 inches from this day forward. We may get that with our Clipper systems early week and what's coming potentially this weekend.
So there's a lot of snow coming, is what you're trying to say. A lot by this part of the year.
By considering what time of year it is, yes, it's a good amount of snow.
It's just insult on top of injury. I mean, people are done. People are ready to bring out the spring clothes and to start thinking about the spring holidays.
It's just been way too much, I mean, really. But when we look toward the weekend, we're going to focus here off the Pacific Coast. We've got basically a trough that's digging in here across the North Pacific, okay? And this is looking at 850 millibar temperature. Just follow that blob of blue. Just follow it, and where does it end up this weekend? Yep. Right there, right across the Great Lakes and the Northeast with that cold northwest flow. It's been, it seems like the same pattern every single week since Christmas.
And not only, even if you don't get a storm out of that pattern, you certainly get below average temperatures. So you get that tease on like Wednesday when you're all stuck in work and school, everything warms up. You're like, yeah, weekend's coming. Nope, cold again.
Cold. Same system, by the way, and there's that trough again. Especially along the red is the jet stream flow. We've really built a big ridge across the west that breaks down, and notice what the cold air setup is on Sunday. So there we go again, northwest flow, the jet energy is there, the cold temperatures will be there. Will the moisture be there? If it is, we're talking some snow. So here's a look at the GFS, the American Model Forecast. This blue line here is the freezing line. Moisture is highlighted there in green. Where the two get together, we're likely to have some snow. And there we go. By Saturday evening, if you're north of that line, you're looking for for some snow. That'll include near Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Burlington, Manchester, you get it, right? And as we go into Sunday, we've got a little bit of moisture that's close to the freezing line. By noontime, we may have some snow, maybe potentially around Syracuse, but I mean, sunrise services, it's going to be colder, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the European model, similar thing here. And they're not that far off, really, when you look at this. So fast forward through Friday, mostly a rain event. Then Saturday into Sunday. There we go again, very near Pittsburgh. And then northern New England, Syracuse, we're looking for some snow. Same for us in Burlington. Very close to Boston. I wouldn't be surprised to get some flakes flying there. I don't think we'll get much, if any, accumulation. Then the system rolling out by the middle of the day on Sunday, but I think it's Saturday into very early Sunday morning where we could get some snow.
It looks like the Sunday morning low temperatures, though, along I-95 will be at or below freezing
again. Yeah, it's chilly. It's not what we want this time of year for sure. There's Friday. In the evening, it's rain along I-95. It's a mixed interior. On Saturday, there's your snow. Yes, does include Pittsburgh, then right up all the way through northern Maine. Boston, New York, Hartford, down toward Philly, we're still primarily all rain at this point, but there's the cold air. The moisture may be gone pretty much at that point, Mark, so I wouldn't really count on much more than maybe flurries here, Boston, New York, but maybe some accumulation around the lakes, and Buffalo. It's been a tough winter for us as well. We could get some.
And as that cold air comes in, it squeezes out any moisture that is left, so a couple of flurries can't be ruled out. Viv, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Well, still much more to come here on Weather Center Live. A wet, dreary, soggy start to the week for you in Atlanta. Looking at a few breaks in the clouds right now, actually, as we look across the city, courtesy of the Coca-Cola headquarters. Is more rain on the way? Well, we are looking at the forecast for you, and we'll let you know right after this short break. Stay with us.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 58. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, plentiful sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now on Weather Center Live, a wet start to the day across the South. But that's not all we're watching. Find out who could be dealing with severe storms by midweek. We'll tell you what's coming and when straight ahead.
It's extreme, it's extensive, and getting worse by the day. We're talking about the western drought. This week, how the snowpack, or lack thereof, will factor into this dire situation. It's our expert-filled, in-depth live coverage, and it continues right here, right now, on Weather Center Live. The start of another work week and another edition of Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Now, Mark, more severe weather on the horizon.
Yeah, we're tracking it for you.
Yeah, the relentless drought, too, across the West.
We're monitoring that.
Yeah, something else that we want to tell you about.
Viv, say it ain't snow.
I gotta say it. Unfortunately, it's the winter that will not go away. Tell me about it. Especially in western New York. Now, a Clipper system with more snow and chilly rain moved through Buffalo just last night.
Yeah, and it all comes on the heels of back-to-back winters with more than 100 inches of snow. Our own Scott Newell has the story from the banks of a frozen Lake Erie.
Well, here on the shores of Lake Erie, 35 degrees, and when there's no wind, that's actually pretty pleasant. But when there are winds up to 30 miles an hour, gusting sometimes as high as 40 miles an hour, you know what? Not all that comfortable. You know, they've had 112 inches of snow here in the Buffalo region officially, and they've had to put it somewhere. There's a place called the Central Terminal. It's an old train station, so they pile up all the snow, and if you go out there, it looks like a huge, and I mean huge, like 3-story tall pile of dirt. But when you get up close to it, it's not dirt at all. There's some dirt mixed in, but it's actually mostly ice with a little bit of just a kind of a dark color to it. And we were standing out here all morning, and I figure, well, I'll stand on this nice solid spot here. You know, this is dirt, this is solid. Well, turns out if you chip into it a little bit here with my stick, you can see that this is not dirt at all. That is ice and snow, and it looks like dirt just because of kind of what's on top of it and what's mixed into it. We have been out here on these areas that look like snow, and there are some spots here where you can just fall right through because there are pockets of air in this too. So if you're ever climbing around on anything like this, or even those big piles, and I know some people have tried to climb up on those big piles at Central Terminal, you have to be extremely careful because they can be dangerous. So the good news though is that as we head into the week, it looks like it might get up to 60 degrees on Wednesday, or Thursday rather, on Thursday, and that would be the latest since 1980 that Buffalo has taken to get to that temperature in the spring. So not a great distinction, and I'm sure the people here just want it to go away. Back to you.
Scott, I know they say don't eat the yellow snow, but I'm pretty sure the gray-brown snow counts for that as well. Be safe out there. It can be dangerous on those big snow piles, and we've got potentially more snow on the way. A couple of different clippers working their way across the northern tier. Check out the view of the water vapor. Gives us an idea of the amount of moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And there are two separate clippers, one moving away, another moving in, but neither of them all that strong. Most clippers aren't. So we're going to focus in for you. Here's clipper number 1, area of low pressure moving out. Clipper number 2, moving in that same direction. Starting with clipper number 1 and the precip that we're seeing right now, the Bangor, Maine area, you're going to see a little bit of snow, rain changing to snow. Portland, you can see some of the same. Boston staying as rain for you for this one. But the jet stream is carved out, right? We're still going to have a northwest flow behind that area of low pressure. It's going to allow the cold air to stay in place. And then our next area of low pressure comes into play, quickly moving from the east. Remember, right now it's still basically in southern Canada. It's going to dive in towards the Great Lakes by tonight. So along in north, depending on how far north you are. By tomorrow, it's mostly rain in New Jersey and eastern PA, but snow in southern upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania. And by Tuesday night, mostly rain for I-95, but interior sections could see a little bit of snow out of that second clipper. Most of it's going to be pretty light, less than an inch. Some of the higher elevations, 3 to 5 inches, can't be ruled out. So the eastern lakes into those higher elevations of the interior northeast, a dusting of snow. And that includes Detroit, mostly rain for you, ending as snow as we look towards tomorrow morning. Viv.
Meanwhile, as you make plans to go through this week, we're putting you on alert for the possibility of severe weather. That includes you, Omaha, Nebraska. Temperatures right now in the middle 60s, but we want to make sure that you know that we could see storms headed your way. So let's go to the lab to get all the details from Mike.
All right, thank you very much, Vivian. Omaha get quite warm this week, and just one of the things that we're watching as the temperatures zoom, the dew points zoom, and the next thing you know, severe weather could be popping up here across Central Plains. All right, let's break it down for you in a place like Kansas City, by the way, because I think you have an interesting story to tell. Look at the forecast, by the way, on Wednesday. Looking for a high temperature in the low 80s with sunshine. Then a pretty strong cold front will swing on through. And notice how our temperatures really fall off here by Wednesday night. We'll be down to about 59 degrees with thunderstorms, and some of those storms could be severe. So let's run through this, how everything is setting up in the atmosphere just 2 days from now to cause some issues. Warm, moist air funneled northbound. A real squeeze play here between this warm front and this cold front. That front right there provides a little bit of lift in the atmosphere. We force moisture upwards in the atmosphere, and then if you get a little bit of spin in the atmosphere, you can get some rotating supercell thunderstorms. How do you get that spin? Low-level jet coming out of the southwest. Upper-level jet generally coming out of the west. That's that wind shear, a turning of wind with height. So there we go. We have lift, we have moisture, we have wind shear, we have the things we need for severe storms to pop. All right, let's time it out for you then. This is our future radar, the computer model simulating what the atmosphere will look like by Wednesday. Middle of the day, storms begin to fire here. Grand Island, Lincoln toward Omaha, then along the front, it's Des Moines, then back through Omaha again by the nighttime. This is midnight on Thursday, and we're solidly in it here, right along I-80. Things could get really rough and tumble here. So here's a look at the forecast for Wednesday in particular. Omaha, Des Moines, and Kansas City are highlighted in the dark orange here. Spotty hail and damaging winds, likeliest results of this, but potentially an isolated tornado. And then on Thursday, same thing, damaging winds and hail, but farther south and east, including now Oklahoma City, Little Rock, as well as the Boot Heel of Missouri and Paducah, Kentucky. Again, primarily winds with this, with a little bit of hail, but as we saw last week, that was the same forecast we had. We saw our biggest tornadoes of the spring season, so can't rule it out this time either, Vivian and Mark.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Well, you know what? It's literally a race against the clock. Time running out as California deals with an already unprecedented drought situation. Up next, we're getting an expert view of the snowpack and what the latest measurements could mean for this dire situation. We're back right after you check on your local forecast on the 8th.
Lennox makes the quietest system you can find. So even though it's the most powerful force in your home, it won't sound like it is.
For more information, contact your local Lennox dealer.
Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a vitamin verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
It's a thrill.
Whoa, yes!
You're excited. You're energized.
Grip it and rip it. Take a look at that action.
And for those kids that get to hit shots at the range, get to hit putts on 18, this is one of the best places in the game of golf.
The Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals, Sunday on Golf Channel.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Tuesday, plentiful sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So let's go! When you go out there, it's dangerous.
73% of Americans try to cook healthy meals, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day 50 Plus, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus it supports physical energy with B vitamins. One-A-Day 50 Plus.
You do know the experts at Midas will tell you when he's fixing now and what can wait, right? Like, I don't know, brakes? Of course I do.
One of the best things about driving is being able to stop. Get up to $100 back by mail on a 2-axle brake service. Brakes, tires, oil, everything.
We are fishermen, not fighters. They say I'm a great change is coming.
AD, the Bible continues, this Sunday on NBC.
Bulk is bonus, you know. Bulk is bonus.
But what is that? Nobody says that.
Oh, all the time. Bulk is bonus.
Now through Monday at PetSmart, hurry in and save on the food, toys, and treats that you and your kids love. Because pethood's better with a partner.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, we want to check in with our friends out west. Las Vegas, so much fun in the sun. And man, the sun has been the general rule, right? A whole winter where the pools never closed because it's been record heat day after day. We want to check in with Viv, who's tracking those temperatures that are slowly pushing east. But man, Viv, the heat has been extreme.
Yes, all of that solar radiation just basking down, and we have reached record levels across many areas of the west. In fact, check it out now. Today's highs in the Las Vegas area, we're forecasting 91. The record is 88 that was set back in 2004. Look at Fresno, Sacramento, Flagstaff. All will be flirting with record highs, if not exceeding the record highs of the day. So we are watching the thermometer hour by hour as we progress through the day today. In fact, here's a look at the current temperatures. Vegas, it's 77 degrees right now, well on your way to 90s today. Much of the same in Phoenix. Look at this. You're already checking in with 81 degrees in the Valley of the Sun. Denver, you're checking in the 66, but you too could be dealing with temperatures a good 20 degrees above average before today is done. We've had the bulk of the heat here across a good part of the southwest for the most part. Notice how we have the hump in the jet stream, indicating that big ridge of high pressure, allowing all of that warm air to move northward. But the jet stream configuration will change a little bit. In fact, not just having the ridge across the west, but notice how it basically kind of evens out across the country with it residing well to the north. So that's going to allow a lot of this heat over the southwest to basically move into the middle of the country. Afternoon highs across the plains over the next several days will be well above average. Here's a look at today. Again, the bulk of the heat over the southwest, but it'll be moving east. We'll keep you updated. Back to you, Mark.
It is truly a race against the clock in California. They are running out of time to replenish the water supply before the even drier summer months begin. So let's bring in Jamie Labor, a hydrologist with the National Weather Service. Jamie, thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about just how bad this water situation has gotten in California and why it doesn't just affect California. So much of the nation's vegetables and fruits come from there.
Yeah, here in California, it's been pretty dire the last 4 years. This is our 4th year in a row of below normal rainfall. And in fact, here in Southern California, this is the 8th out of the last ninth year that's been below normal. So it's turning into a long-term drought here.
And it's not just about the lack of rain. We're also talking about lack of snow in the higher elevations, not only in Southern California, but throughout the state. That's such a vital resource. What does that bring to mind to you? How does it compare to past years?
Yeah, so we're not talking, it is snow as well. So in the snowpack in the Sierra Mountains supplies quite a bit of the rain and the water here in California. Right now in the Sierras, we're standing at 6% of normal for this time of year snowpack. Some of that snow comes from the Colorado River, and we're a little bit better there, 75% of normal, but that's just a little portion of Southern California that gets benefit from that snowpack.
And what does it mean to the reservoirs around the state and the supplies as we do head into summer?
Right now, the major reservoirs in in all of the entire state of California are all below normal. Again, it's because of that 4 years in a row below normal. And without that snowpack sitting up there, we don't have this reserve of water that we normally have available to us.
So we only have about 30 seconds left. You live in the area. Is everyone urging conservation? Is that working?
Yeah, the governor here in California declared a drought in January of 2014, and at that time it was it wasn't exactly mandatory conservation across the state, but now it is. The State Water Resources Control Board has said that mandatory restrictions are in place now across the state. So it is helping, but we can do more, I think, as a state.
All right, Jamie Labor with the National Weather Service hydrologist in Los Angeles. Thanks so much for your time today.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Wherever you walk, just remember this. Whatever you step on goes on your shoes and ends up on your car's floor. So to perfectly protect your vehicle, you need WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Order yours at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
Sean! Come on, get together.
Gorgeous Greens at your service.
This looks interesting.
Special K hot cereal. Made with superfoods.
Special K. I can definitely taste the quinoa. I can't believe that's less than 200 calories.
A nourishing breakfast of multigrains and quinoa. Special K hot cereal.
These spicy super crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
No, they're my chicken strips.
It's an expression. It means they're not, plain old chicken strips.
Are you calling my mom plain and old?
No, I like these chicken
like?
strips.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested?
Okay.
Chicken strips with a kick worth calling home about. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. Add some spark to your morning with new Sonic Spark energy drinks. This is how you Sonic.
You know you're gonna go out in bad weather.
We're willing to take a lot of risk.
He has no heartbeat, he's got no pulse.
These people are counting on us.
So let's go!
I've never been so terrified.
When you go out there, it's dangerous.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron. Love at first bite. Pick up a pizza you can call your own. Red Baron Singles.
I am the luckiest woman in the world because I was one of the first people to sail on Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line's beautiful Grand Celebration, the newest and best cruise to the Bahamas. With 2 fun-filled nights on the ship, a spectacular day in the Bahamas, and prices from just $149, you can get lucky too. Call 800-814-7100. That's 800-814-7100. And let the fun begin.
Hey.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 58. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, plentiful sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There
people all bloodied, but everybody was able to get out. But what was worse is that they left us for an hour outside in the blowing snow.
Well, first, they circled around the airport for about a half an hour. Then a decision to land resulted in a crash landing in snow. The plane took out power lines as it came down short of the runway. But now the airline says weather was not a factor. But what was it? We're going to go in depth in just a few minutes. But first, we want to get you caught up on what's happening right now. Here's Mark.
Thanks, Viv. And let's talk about the rain in the southeast. You got a rude awakening across the south today as scattered thunderstorms fired off during the early morning hours, moving from Tennessee into Alabama and Georgia. This is all that's remaining, believe it or not, of those storms. Just a little bit of shower activity here near or heading to Savannah. We could see some of this refiring down towards the I-10 corridor as we go through the rest of the day. But right now, it is significantly quieter than even a couple of hours ago. We can, however, time out what it might look like according to one of our high-resolution models. This is that line of storms slowly moving south. There's that I-10 corridor, Tallahassee. Not out of the question that you could see a thunderstorm popping this afternoon. A little bit of a sea breeze front, and then that precip moving down. That collision could reinvigorate these storms later on this afternoon. You notice one thing that never fully clears out here in this model is the cloud cover. That line of clouds is basically going to turn into our stationary front, which will be the focal point as we go through the week ahead. Moisture moving up from the Gulf, stalled out front here, overlaid by the jet stream, and that's the conveyor belt for these relatively weak areas of low pressure rolling through the southern branch of the jet stream. But these disturbances, they're going to trigger more showers, more thunderstorms, more potential for flooding here. It was only about 2 weeks ago that we were talking about flooding rains in Shreveport down through East Texas, and then Tuesday and Wednesday you're seeing rain and storms again. Thursday, showers and storms here again. So Viv, a chance for some of that flooding again.
All right, thanks very much, Mark. Well, now back to the airplane crash. More than a dozen investigators are at the Halifax International Airport following the crash landing of Air Canada Flight 624. About 23 passengers were injured, none critically, but snow was falling when the plane clipped an antenna while landing short of the runway. Preston Mulligan with CBC News has more.
Air Canada Flight 624 is still out there on the runway where it ended up after crash landing early Sunday morning. Transportation Safety Board officials from all over Canada and as far away as France are here, as well as manufacturers of the aircraft from Airbus. They're here taking a look at the debris field, taking a look at the aircraft, trying to figure out what went wrong. Of course, weather did play a bit of a factor in what happened here yesterday, maybe more than a bit of a factor. It circled the aircraft west of Halifax at least twice before making a landing. It hit a power line. The power line knocked out power to this airport.
We were coming into land, and all at once there was a big flash, and there was guys on that side of the airplane that said that we cut off a power pole. That's what took all the power out in the airport. And when that happened, the plane just came down and went bang.
There was a couple of people screaming, but it was more shock. We just thought that we were landing hard.
When I hit my head, I just said, it's over. No way we were going to survive that.
There was a couple of people all bloodied, but everybody was able to get out. But what was worse is that they left us for an hour outside in the blowing snow.
So Transportation Safety Board officials taking in all of that into account. The underside of the aircraft badly damaged, the nose badly damaged, and of course the stories from passengers describe waiting out there after impact for about 15 minutes before they were picked up by airport officials here.
All right, here is a look at the official conditions now at the airport at the time of the crash. Visibility down to 1/8 of a mile. We did have reports of heavy snow, even drifting snow reporting, and that's why the visibilities were so low. Again, winds were gusting up to 30 miles per hour at the Halifax International Airport in Nova Scotia. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Turn the land you own into the land you love with a Mahindra tractor. Proudly assembled right here in America. The people who stand behind your Mahindra are your friends and neighbors and a part of your community. So you can thank Dexter, Reuben, and Myra for the homegrown quality of your Mahindra.
The world's #1 selling tractor. Visit MahindraUSA.com.
Your mom's got your back. Your friends have your back.
Your dog's definitely got your back. But who's got your back when you need legal help? We do. We're LegalZoom. And over the last 10 years, we've helped millions of people protect their families and run their businesses. We have the right people on hand to answer your questions, backed by a trusted network of attorneys. So visit us today for legal help you can count on. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
I accept that I'm not 21. I accept I'm not the sprinter I was back in college. I even accept that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But I won't accept giving it less than my best. So if I can go for something better than warfarin, I will. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin. Plus, it had less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both. That really mattered to me.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I accept that I'm not as fast, but I'm still going for my personal best and for Eliquis.
Reduced risk of stroke plus less major bleeding. Ask your doctor if Eliquis is right for you.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Once upon a time, there was a nice house that lived with a family. One day, it started to rain and rain. Water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house thought she let the family down. But the family just didn't think a flood could ever happen.
The reality is, floods do happen. Protect what matters. Get flood insurance. Call 888-RAIN-383 to learn more.
But now, let's put this out here. I'm getting soaked. We're getting a good heavy hit of rain.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
Thanks for watching AMHQ and helping to make us the fastest growing major network on cable. AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear sky. Tuesday, plentiful sunshine. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So let's go! When you go out there, it's dangerous.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live on the Weather Channel. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And Viv, we're getting ready to feel more like spring and bring out the new spring wardrobe. We just can't get away from the wintry conditions.
That's right. We're trying so hard to bring in spring, but old man winter just will not go home.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the two little last punches. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily last, but definitely these two punches that old man winter is bringing. Early week clipper systems for the Midwest and the Great Lakes area. Here are the two of them that we're watching. This one moving up north of the border, but it's already, even as we speak, bringing some wintry weather across New England. Here comes the next one as it pushes south of the border. It'll kind of slide through the Great Lakes area and eventually bring more snow to the northeast. But what's going on right now? Look at the snow around Bangor, Maine, even down to Portland. Some chilly rain been reported at Boston. Just on the west side of the city, we did have reports of snow. It seems as though that has changed over to just a chilly rain, but nonetheless, it is wintry over a good part of the northeast back to the Great Lakes because of this dip in the jet stream, allowing all of that colder air to sink south of the border. And again, little bitty clipper systems kind of caught up in that upper air fast wind flow. So overnight tonight, this is that second system as it swings across the western Great Lakes, eventually moves into the eastern Great Lakes. Detroit, we will be watching you even around the Lansing area for some wintry weather overnight tonight, and eventually that's going to all move into the northeast overnight tomorrow night. And look at this, New York City, even up to the Cape, Hartford, Connecticut, Philadelphia will be looking at either chilly rain or some wet snow, all kind of pushing in with that next little clipper system swinging through. We don't think we'll find heavy accumulations until maybe you get closer to the lakes area, but even here we talk about 3 to 5 inches. Back to you, Mark.
Well, this never-ending winter in the Northeast just keeps on going. Strong winds were the story in Buffalo, as high as 80 miles per hour for some of those winds this morning. And that's where we find our own Scott Newell on the banks of a frozen Lake Erie.
Well, we are on the shore of Lake Erie here, about as far east as you can get. And as you can see, a lot of debris here that's built up over the winter, a lot of driftwood, a lot of these ice and snow patches. And you have to be careful here because some of these are hollow. You can fall right through them. The good news for Buffalo today, though, is that most of the precipitation came overnight. Not much for the morning commute, which was good news for drivers here. The challenge here were the winds. They're coming out of the southwest. They got as high as 47 in gusts out at the airport. That has calmed down a little bit, but those winds are coming out of the southwest. They have the potential of blowing ice from Lake Erie into the Niagara River. You don't want to clog up the Niagara River for obvious reasons, so they're going to leave this ice boom out there. It prevents the ice from going over it into Lake Erie. Even if a little bit goes over, that's okay, but they're probably going to leave it up later this year to prevent any sort of jam ups. Now, Niagara Falls looking pretty good. Was there last night. It checks out. Everything's flowing over quite nicely. Nice crowd out there watching the water flow over the falls, and that's always good news, and it's getting better as the days go by. Now, the one thing I want to tell you, though, is that coming up later this week, the temperature could get up to 60 degrees, and it's the latest that it's gotten up to 60 since 1980. They're also expecting a very late spring here, obviously because of the 70% ice pack still out on Lake Erie. The farmers are waiting to plant their crops. It is causing difficulties for shipping on the Great Lakes as well, as 52% of the Great Lakes still frozen over. So spring not coming to Buffalo anytime really soon, but at least there is light at the end of the tunnel. Back to you.
Yeah, it's been a slow start to spring in the east. So much heat in the west, and in between, severe weather. So we want to update you on the severe weather outbreak we dealt with last week.
Yeah, the National Weather Service now confirms at least 5 tornadoes struck Oklahoma and Arkansas last Wednesday.
There are 4 others that are still under review. The storms did, however, kill 1 person in Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
At least 7 people went to the hospital with injuries. Around 60 buildings in the Tulsa area were damaged.
Yeah, this week we need to prepare you for a new severe storm threat. Mike Bettis in the lab to break it all down. A similar pattern to last week.
Indeed it is, and last week, we'd even called last week's an overachiever as far as tornadoes go. There wasn't a huge forecast for tornadoes. We ended up getting, as many as we did last week. All right, let's talk about what's the threat this week and where the threat is this week, because it's a little bit different location. Now we're going up towards, say, Kansas City, and I want to point out a couple of things, including Wednesday's forecast, which is very warm, low 80s, a lot of sunshine. That's all that surge of warm air ahead of a cold front. Then the cold front sweeps through Wednesday evening, and next thing you know, you've got thunderstorms that are popping up Wednesday night, and notice how much the temperature declines as well. We're down to 59 degrees Wednesday night, and Thursday we're dealing with some leftover rain. How about those temperatures by the middle of the week? Look how warm they are. We're talking 85 in Wichita up to 78 degrees in Des Moines, and the dew points will be up there as well. We're generally looking for a dew point. This means the amount of moisture in the atmosphere of around 55 or so. So we're in the ballpark here in places like Des Moines and Kansas City and Wichita, as they up toward Omaha, Nebraska as well. So what's going on? What's going to happen for us on Wednesday? Well, with our computer model here, we can simulate the atmosphere hour by hour. So Wednesday, middle of the day, things get firing here. Omaha back down toward Grand Island. Storms really get going later in the day. We're talking around midnight or so. They'll still be there now. Grand Island, Lincoln, Omaha, over toward Des Moines, everything firing along a cold front. So here are the specific areas of concern, highlighted especially in the dark orange color here. Omaha to Lincoln, down toward Kansas City, and over toward Des Moines. Those are the hot spots we think Wednesday for damaging winds as well as some large hail. There could be an isolated tornado risk in there as well, but the overwhelming threat will certainly be wind and hail. As we go into Thursday, shifting that threat farther south and a little bit farther east now, including Oklahoma City and Tulsa, also including now Little Rock, and then very close here to St. Louis as well, and into the Boot Heel of Missouri, over toward Memphis, up toward Paducah, all areas we could be watching for some pretty strong storms to rumble Thursday morning as well. So it looks like the key time frame here, Vivian and Mark, will end up being Wednesday night through Thursday morning. We'll watch it very closely here at the Weather Channel.
You know we'll be watching you. Thanks very much, Mike. Well, when a tornado descended on Moore, Oklahoma last week, the city's 911 center was inundated with phone calls from people looking for help.
The city of Moore has shared some of those shocking and heart-wrenching 911 recordings with us. So listen and watch as this community comes together to respond to an active tornado.
911, where's your emergency? Tornado touching down on top of Broadway. Tornado touching down.
This is OnStar Emergency. Interstate 35 and Southwest 4th Street in Moore, Oklahoma. I have a lady who the tornado has turned her upside down in her vehicle.
Moore 911, where's your emergency? Okay, ma'am, where are you? Okay, ma'am, you just need to take shelter, okay?
There was a tractor-trailer blown over by a tornado behind us on I-35. He flipped over behind my house. I've got the driver in my house.
Okay, we've got the fire department on the highway already. And you got the driver there with you?
The driver is in my home, yes.
Is he injured?
Inside. No, he is fine.
911, where's your emergency? We've been hit. We've been hit with a tornado. Okay, is anybody injured? I don't think no, but okay. Is anybody trapped? I don't know. I can't see out. Hello, is anybody injured?
No, but there's houses missing in my neighborhood.
You can feel the fear in those calls. Every single time it is just as heart-wrenching as the last. And as we go to break, we want to update you on another potentially dangerous situation. We have Typhoon Misak here in the Pacific. Here's Guam. Some of the outer bands. This is a powerhouse storm, currently with winds near 110 miles per hour, but will increase. 120 miles per hour Monday evening, 140 Tuesday, slowing down.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under fair skies. This afternoon, plenty of sunshine. High 77. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 59. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, mainly sunny. High 82. Northwest winds shifting to east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. you freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Once we were dreamers, adventurers set out to discover new lands, new people, new ways. Once we were great explorers in search of hidden treasure, secret hideouts, magic lands. The treasure is still here and waiting to inspire a new generation of dreamers. Come uncover the riches and bounty of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Capri Sun. No high fructose corn syrup and no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Those are your rules.
There's 5 people who are it.
Their rules?
You gotta hit the target.
Let them figure them out.
I found 10th base.
Capri Sun. Push play.
Incredible. I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergy symptoms start, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
With powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin, live Claritin Clear. Every day.
Do you wrestle with those old-fashioned hoses that tangle and kink? Are they heavy and hard to store? It's time to get the new Top Brass Professional Pocket Hose. I'm Paul James, the Gardener Guy, and you need the new Top Brass Professional Pocket Hose. Now the best-selling expandable hose in the world has been completely re-engineered. Top Brass uses DuraRib technology to create a flexible endoskeleton inside your hose that expands and contracts, while the outer sleeve is tough like a fire hose, but soft to touch. You just can't kink this hose, even tie it in a knot.